What is the most important attribute of a great athlete? Is it physicality, quick thinking, or is it the ability to lead and inspire others? The answer, of course, may vary from individual to individual, athlete to athlete. But for Jeanette Grell-Hull, one of our island's greatest netball players, a true pioneer of the sport, the answer is simply determination. For despite her God-given athletic abilities, Jeanette ascribes her success to one thing: her drive to be great, an attribute she possessed dating back to the early days of netball on the island, when the sport was hardly more than a playground activity.
I started netball when I left school. I started in 1970. That's when I formed my netball team. It was the only netball team outside of the school in 1970. The name of my netball club was the Sneakers Netball Club. We formed ourselves together. There was no specific place in Nevis to play netball. So what I did, I got Harold Walters, who's now deceased, to make 2 netball poles for me. Of course, I bought the pipes and so on, and the steel to make the rings. But he placed them inside of a rim of a tire and put concrete in it so it could stay steady on the ground. And we used to take those poles with us wherever we wanted to go and play. We played down in the park. We moved the poles down there with us and put them up. We marked out the park. We got the diesel from the power station, and we marked out the court on the park. And then we got white lime. I don't know if you know about white lime. Well, that's something that comes from the sea, some stones. And in those days, they used to break them up, so you could go and get a bucket of white lime, and then we just sprinkle it in the markings, and it would come out white.
Despite its humble beginnings, local netball continued to develop. The construction of the island's first proper netball court made way for a local netball league featuring 13 teams. The Nevis Netball Association was then founded in 1972. This allowed the island to compete on the regional stage.
The Nevis Netball Association was formed in 1972, and the first regional tournament was going to be held in St. Kitts that year. And so we prepared ourselves to go to St. Kitts, even though we were not really top-class players. We thought that it was good to go to St. Kitts because, it's right there for the exposure. And that was our first regional championship. And we went from coming last to coming number 1, I think, in St. Kitts in 1982, I think, something like that. But I did come out as the top shooter in the Caribbean in that year. And it was the first time that anybody had beaten Trinidad to that position. So here was Jeanette Grell-Hull from Nevis, number 1 shooter in the Caribbean.
Wow.
And it hasn't happened again.
After retiring as a player in 1985, Jeanette was elected president of the Nevis Netball Association in 1986. Remarkably, her drive and determination transitioned from the court and went directly into the new role as she continued to make groundbreaking moves for her country.
I was on the selection panel for the West Indies netball team to tour England. So I was selected to pick that English team. And in that same year, 1998, a big year, I was also chosen manager of the Americas netball team, which toured Australia in June. And that was a big thing for me, because here I am from Little Nevis, called by the president about midnight, I think it was, when she told me. So when I woke up in the morning, I said to myself, I think I remember talking to the president, and I'm not sure if it was a dream or whatever. So I took up the phone and I called her. And I said, did you speak to me last night about managing a team to go to Australia? And she said, yes. I said, oh, okay, I thought it was a dream. Because, you know, you had so many other large islands or countries, whatever they call themselves, with people who were more experienced in time than me. And here I was chosen from Little Nevis to manage a AFNA team to travel to Australia. And that was really a big highlight for me. And in 2006, I was also able to get the Caribbean Championships to be held in Nevis again. And the All England netball team came to that championship. We invited them and they came. So that's a highlight of my presidency, you know, trying to open it up so that people in Nevis could see what a team in the world. They were number 2 in the world at that time. So in the 2006 championships, we had Jamaica, who was number 1 in the world, and England, who was number 2 in the world, along with the other islands in the Caribbean. Nevis would have been the only place to have held an international championship up to now. And that was another highlight of my presidency.
As someone who built her career on hard work and perseverance, Janet is assured that her time as an athlete led to her becoming the strong-spirited individual she is today. She now encourages young persons to remain strong in the face of adversity as they press towards achieving their goals.
In 1979, there was the World Championships was held in Trinidad and Tobago, and 2 people from Nevis got selected on the team, and that was Crescentia O'Flaherty as the center player and myself as the goal shooter, right, for the Sink It's Nevis team. Well, I could tell you that it was tough. It was tough, but we came through. Because I remember when we were playing Ireland, I was the goal shooter on the court. And at no time did Crescentia O'Flaherty was she put to play on this court at the same time with me. So it was either her and the others or me and the others, right? And so we were playing against Ireland, and I always remember that it was a ding-dong battle. And at the end of the third quarter, when I say ding-dong battle, we were going like 1-1, 2-2, you know, and we had to get spaced out by 1 to win the match. And in the third quarter, that's the last quarter of the match, the captain came to me and she told me that I should call sick because she wanted to take me off and put on another player. And I said to her, okay. And so we went back on to play. And I played the whole quarter. I did not call sick because I know that it could have been done. And I shot the winning goal in that match. We won Ireland by 1 goal. And I shot that winning goal. And I'll never forget that. This is a story of how sports can develop persons to become strong individuals. Because these are the things that we have to go through, and we are the ones who have to decide, am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it? And you have to stand up for your right and know that you are right. I just want to send out a message to the parents and the young people and encourage them to get into sport, because sports makes you strong. Sports makes you strong, and the parents encourage your children to take part in sports Let them put down their phone for a while. Encourage them to go out, go to the complex with them, go to the park with them, go to the Mundo track with them, and let them see that you're interested in what they're doing. And for me, I would just like to thank all of those people who supported me in my games as it went along. Mr. Joseph Parry was one of those people. He always encouraged me in playing netball, and a couple more people, but they're all passed now. But I'm still there, and I just wanted to thank them for that encouragement that they gave me. And I'm now trying to pass it on to other people. You got to be strong. You got to be strong.